My favorite foods, one of my favorite things they had is called coxinhas. It was basically some shredded chicken with some spices and whatnot, rolled into a ball, and then they would roll that ball into some dough, and it would actually be a little like teardrop cone shaped thing. They would drop it into a deep fryer, and you would eat it. It cost like $1 to buy or 50 cents to buy, and it would fill you up for like 3 hours, and it was the perfect street food, and I loved it. So unfortunately, we were too far below the Amazons to have any like crazy stories because I flew home with some kids, or not some kids, some missionaries from the Amazon. They had crazy stories. So any story I'm about to say just gets trumped. But people had pet monkeys, parrots. One time, and I'm 99% sure this wasn't a dream, but we were driving on a bus and we had to stop, and we're like, why are we stopping? And we were in the middle of nowhere between two cities, and there's a snake. I kid you not. And once again, I'm pretty sure this was real, but I tried to take a video of it. It was shaky, so okay, yeah, it actually was real. Sorry, it's been a while. But the snake was about this big around, and it took up the entire road as it crossed, which was probably a good 20 feet, 25 feet. And it was just like the craziest, biggest snake I've ever seen in my life. We were on a bus, we were safe. And anyways, I never saw another thing like that again. But another story, if that one wasn't exciting, because it wasn't. We flew into Sao Paulo, going to the MTC for the first time, and one of my buddies that we flew down with that I just barely met, we were in the van driving to the MTC, and he goes, "I just saw a monkey." And we're in the middle of a big city, and we're like, "You didn't see a monkey?" He's like, "I just saw a monkey." And turns out it wasn't a monkey. We later discovered that they have huge rats the size of monkeys in the sewers of Sao Paulo. And so that was fun. He got all excited for a monkey, and it was a big fat rat. But anyways, the hardest thing, is
Yeah.
it just always comes to that.
Yeah.
Let's see. Give me a second.
You could always pass on the question too.
Yeah. Can I pass? Is
Sure.
that cool?
Yeah. No, that's cool.
So I don't mean to like.
No, you're good. Let's see. Any other story that you'd like to share before we move on to testimony advice? Like, could be a spiritual experience, teaching, answer the prayer. It could be any other experience that you'd like to share before we move on.
Sure. Yeah. Some advice or something.
Well,
Or a little experience.
We'll have a message right at the end for testimony advice for pre-missionaries in just a minute, but if there's any other experience you want to share that teaches a lesson or that you thought was cool.
Yeah. Something interesting that I learned kind of halfway through my mission or so was be bold. Like, you're going to be outside your comfort zone and outside your bubble, so you might as well just be bold at it. One time we were at lunch at a member's house, and so it was a mom and daughter. The daughter was probably like 40 years old or something, so the mom was like 65. And the daughter was super, super active, been active for like 10 years. She had a brother in the ward as well who was married, and he was crazy active and had a high calling. But the mom had never been baptized before. And so I get there, and me and my companion were talking, and he's like, yeah, she lives the gospel. She doesn't drink coffee anymore. She doesn't drink any alcohol. She really like lives the gospel. She's come to church, probably more times than not. She's just scared to be baptized for the commitment or something. And everybody's always asked her to be baptized, but she's just, always politely turned it down. And so and she makes lunch for the missionaries like at least once a month. And so we were over there, and we were just eating and talking, and conversation kind of died. And so I was just like, and this is nothing I did. The Spirit must have just kicked me to do this. But I was just like, so Nancy, you want to get baptized on Sunday? And I was expecting her to just laugh it off, but she just stayed quiet. I was like, whoa, okay, something's going on. And then she took probably 20 seconds to respond, but she said, yeah, I think it's time to get baptized. And so she got baptized that Sunday, which was really cool. Nothing I did, but it was just all her, and she was ready. But luckily I was just bold, and it's never bad to be too bold inside the rules of, the mission. Don't be an idiot or something. But if the Spirit prompts you to do something, do it. And if it doesn't work out, that's okay. It might just be a learning experience for you personally, or for the person that experience is going to play into effect 2 years down the road or something. But being bold is never a bad thing. So, yeah. Most extreme weather was definitely in the desert. They gave you the mission reimbursed you for sunscreen. So I lathered that stuff on, and my collars would turn pink from the sunscreen, or my skin peeling off, one of the two. But it felt like just like take an iron, like don't do this, but it's like if you had an iron and you just held it literally like a half an inch from your face. That's what it felt like in the sun in the desert area, at least where I was. People would say the ozone layer was thinner or something. We'll find out when I'm like 80 with skin cancer, but that's why I lathered sunscreen on. But anyways, it was just like crazy hot, and I'm sure it was just probably like 100 degrees, but the sun just felt like it was just right there burning you. So that was the most crazy. And then it's always raining, so you're gonna be wet. Yeah, you're gonna be wet for 2 years, whether you like it or not. Either it's raining season and you're being rained on, or it's so hot that you're sweating. But I promise you will not be dry for 2 years. So anyways, yeah. Waterproof socks. I just discovered them on some viral video last week, and first thing I thought of in my head was, I wish I had those on my mission. I don't actually know if they work, but if they have them and if they're real, you should look into them. Also, don't skimp on shoes. If you can get some waterproof shoes, Echoes were the best shoes back in the day. But whatever kind they are, just make sure they're waterproof so you don't have to like try to dodge all the puddles. And because wet socks all day is not fun. If you're an hour away from your apartment, you're not going to go all the way home. Clothing, mostly that. Just keep your feet dry any way you can, and waterproof is worth the extra $50 or something, so. Basically, I forgot the name, but it was something that every missionary knew they were going to have at least once in their mission. Let me describe it real quick. They take the stomach of a goat and they cut it open, and so it's just his stomach, and they cut it open, they clean it all out really nice, which with like lemon juice and everything, so they wash it really well. And then what they do is they get the intestines of the goat and they chop it up, mix it with some ground beef, put it into the stomach, sew the stomach up. They drop it in some boiling water. They put the goat legs and feet in the water too because it adds flavor and hair. But it just boils, and then you eat it. And I was thinking, my whole mission, so I wouldn't say I'm a picky eater, but I am. And so I was just like, every time we got to a new area, I was like, I really hope they're not going to make me this. I really hope. And they never did. And it was getting towards the end of my mission, and I was like, I can't go home without eating this, And so one of the ladies in the ward, she was just like, hey, we want you over for one last lunch, and is there anything that we can make you? I was like, okay, well, there's this thing, and I told her what it was. I forgot the name of it, and she was just like, oh, I would love to make you that because it's a delicacy there, and she was just so happy that she could make that, and maybe I shouldn't include. I'm not including her name, but if she ever hears this, she's gonna know who she is. But anyways, so she made it, and I'm sure it tasted so delicious, but I don't know how much. Let's just say it wasn't what I was expecting. So they gave it to me, and obviously since I requested it, and she invited all the missionaries over, so there was us four, and all the three other missionaries were like, what did you do? Really? Why did you request this? I was like, I'm going home. I gotta eat it, And so, we cut them all in half. We warned the sister in the ward that we're Americans, this is foreign, we don't know, but they're, Brazilians, they want you to like their food, as everybody does. I struggled a little with the language, so I had a billion of them that I don't even know of. But let's see, if you're gonna go to Brazil, don't get the missionaries are going to have fun with you and try to trick you into saying that I am gravida, and that means I am full, which is a lie. I don't know if they still make this joke, but you say, what you're really saying is they want you to push out your stomach and say that you're full, but really gravida means you're pregnant, and so they're just having fun trying to get you to say, oh, I'm pregnant, and all the members have fun with that. I think I fell for that. I don't know. I probably did. Just don't be too naive. If they have a smirk on the face and say this after eating something, or just watch out for those fun little pranks. But then once you've learned them, and a new missionary comes along, have fun trying them out. So I don't know. Yeah. I didn't have too much of a dangerous mission. I mean, the favelas was dangerous, but we weren't in danger in there. I got robbed once. I only got robbed once in my whole mission, and he just took my Book of Mormon, and he was drunk. And the only reason that, I wanted to give him the Book of Mormon, but we were short on Book of Mormons, and for some reason, our mission wasn't getting Book of Mormons in time, because we just gave them out like candy, and we had a shortage for a few weeks, and so we were like only giving the Book of Mormons to people who actually wanted it and were going to read it. And so I really wanted this Book of Mormon. One of the only times in my whole mission that I didn't want to give a Book of Mormon out. And he just comes up and he's like, give me your Book of Mormon. And I was like, or give me that book. And I was like, no. And the only time I denied somebody of a Book of Mormon was a guy mugging me who was drunk. And so I finally just ended up giving him the Book of Mormon. But which we saw him a couple days later, and I think I attempted to get the Book of Mormon back with no success. Anyways, moral of the story is give Book of Mormons out all the time, because why not? Even if you're short on them. So